for a broader conversation, Harsha Upadhyay joins in as well, CIO Equity, President, Kotak Mahindra AMC. Harsha, great having you as always. Thanks for taking the time out. And I wonder if valuations alone provide the muscle for the markets to do well at a point of time when there are these, yes, small idiosyncrasies in Indian markets coming up, but more importantly, concerns around US growth coming up as well, Harsha. Is this market attractive because the valuations are good, or is this market a wait and watch because there are a lot of uncertainties?
Good morning, Neeraj. I would say it's a mix of both. While in the very short term, the markets seem to be oversold. So to that extent, we may find a short-term bottom. However, the external environment is very, very volatile. There are a lot of unpredictable things that are happening around the globe. So to that extent, we may not have seen the end of volatility, I would say. And at the same time, we have been seeing deceleration in terms of the earnings trajectory for Indian corporates. So there are many factors that are impacting markets today. So unless all of them kind of turn around, or you reach a situation where valuations completely discount all of those negatives, very unlikely that you will see a very, very sharp pullback in the market.
Got it. Okay. Okay. Harsha, I wonder if there could be a growth, how do I say, not a scare, but a pullback from expectations, because the belief, rightfully so, was that we will have the uptick that we saw in Q3 will continue well into Q4, and if indeed the capex drive continues, then and the consumption chips in, then FY26 will not be a bad year. But if US growth is sulking, could it have ramifications for a market like India, or are the measures, regulatory and the Reserve Bank, monetary and et cetera, that are being done by both the Reserve Bank and the government help growth stay stable?
See, in isolation, India has been doing quite better than global markets even today, and that would continue. However, if external environment is conducive, then that adds to the growth momentum and the confidence of market participants. That is where I think the current situation is not lending much support. One, there have been so many policy statements which have come and gone. There have been flip-flop as well. There are more to come. So that's where it becomes quite unpredictable. However, the government has taken right steps, I would say, both from a fiscal perspective as well as from a monetary perspective. We are seeing right set of policies coming in place. So impact of that would be seen over the next couple of quarters, and gradually you're going to see a recovery in Indian growth as well. However, is that good enough to really take the markets back to the kind of bullish phase that we had seen earlier is the question. And I think that's where we need to be a little cautious. It's not going to be such a dramatic shift in sentiments immediately. We will have to continue facing this kind of a up and down kind of a market for some more time.
Harsha, hi, Tamanna here, and great to speak with you. I'm wondering if this is an exciting period for you or a tough period for you. When you have to go out there and continue making investments, look for opportunities, does it get easier when everything is at bargain basement rates? Or is there fear and trepidation? I'm asking because obviously at a much larger scale, this is something you're doing, but this is something which will resonate with all of our viewers.
Tamanna, to be honest, I don't think everything is at bargain prices. We just have seen some pullback from the kind of rally that we have seen for the last 4.5, 5 years. Yes, we do agree that the large caps offer quite a bit of valuation comfort, but one can't really say that the valuations are so attractive or so cheap that it's a blind buy at this point of time. So I think the caution is still necessary. It's not going to be a one-way market, even at these valuations. The sectoral moves are not going to be uniform. So you need to be very, very bottom up in terms of your evaluation and selection of stocks into the portfolio. That's what we have been trying to do at this point of time.
So when you're looking at that bottoms-up approach, Harsha, what are the filters that you're now applying? Is it sticking to the safe and tested territory? Is it largely large caps? Are you looking at other pockets, and where are you seeing those opportunities?
Tamanna, if you have seen our portfolios for the last several quarters, we were tilting more towards large caps, and that continues. However, there have been certain names where earnings have not really seen any downtrend. However, the valuations have corrected from the peak levels. And if our analysis shows that even going forward, the earnings are unlikely to really be tested, and we are going to probably see better earnings growth from that particular set of companies vis-a-vis the market earnings growth, which itself has shrunk. Then I think at certain valuations, we would be looking at increasing our exposure in some of those names. By and large, I think there are not sector-wide choices that we have in terms of just pure valuations. Purely looking at valuations, probably the large banks are the only bucket where you will have valuation comfort. Other than that, in each and every sector, either there is a business headwind or the valuations have not corrected completely. So to that extent, you need to be very, very careful in terms of making those bottom-up choices.
Okay, so large banks, let's narrow it down further. I mean, we've seen what's happened with an IndusInd Bank today, and I'm sure you would not want to comment on it. But are you sticking to private sector? Are you looking at PSU banks, the larger names? Are NBFCs making the cut anywhere?
Tamanna, mostly our exposure is in large private sector banks as well as public sector banks, and we have stuck to that for the last couple of quarters. Clearly based on the valuation comfort that we have seen in this particular subsegment within BFSI. As far as NBFCs are concerned, we have been very, very selective. We have just a few names where the businesses are very well diversified, where there is a strong parentage, where there is a track record of managing cycles in the past, etc. Otherwise, we have not been very, very positive on many of the other subsegments of NBFC or some of the segments which are really under some sort of stress, for example, the MFI, etc.
Okay. Harsha, a question on IT and how do you think about it? Because yes, there has been a corrective move. If the US markets were to correct and Nasdaq continues to slide, maybe there is a further pressure on IT names. But the larger question is, while valuation may be a lot more reasonable than what it used to be, if the US were to slow down, then IT has a growth issue out there, right? So what wins? The growth issue overhang on IT names currently, or the fact that the valuations may be a lot better than what they have been in the last 2 or 3 years, maybe?
Neeraj, what we have seen up until now is the volatility that's coming mainly because of what's happening in the US economy, right? If tariffs are imposed and if growth falters there, what's going to be the impact on some of the IT services companies that are catering to US companies is the question that most people are asking today. What we have seen up until now is one or two policy segments that have been focused by President Trump and the administration, which is of tariffs. But they have also spoken about deregulation of the financial services sector. They have also spoken about planning for tax cuts for American corporations, etc., which could be somewhere down the line. Whether they happen or not, we still do not know. But looking at what they have done until now, it seems that they would take up some of these measures as well at a certain point of time, which would be more positive for US corporations and their spend on IT services. So our view is immediately, yes, there are concerns in terms of what's happening to US economy and hence what will be the business momentum for Indian IT services. And along with that, since this was an outperforming sector, we have seen some profit booking coming in as well. But however, if you just step back and look at medium-term positives that could come in from the Trump administration, probably those will outweigh some of the interim volatility that you would expect in this sector. So as far as our portfolios are concerned, we are somewhere around equal weight to slightly overweight on IT services at this point of time, and we would continue with that positioning even at this point of time.
Okay. Okay. Harsha, take a moment to thank you for joining in and giving us that perspective. By the way, Donald Trump is buying a Tesla to help Elon Musk. You are in the mood for buying one, Harsha, if it comes to India?
No, no, not at all. I'm happy with my existing car.
Fair call. Okay.
You get zero tariffs here in
Zero
India.
tariffs here in India. Yes, indeed.
But if it's in Maharashtra, then 6% charge on EV. That is a different thing. Oh, interesting times. We should actually pull up what Donald Trump is saying. I find this interesting also from the perspective Tesla stock has corrected 15%, I think, in the last 4
In
sessions.
1 day.
In a day, yeah. And Elon Musk responded to it saying it will all be fine in the long term. So here's Donald Trump standing up for his buddy, saying Elon is doing a fantastic job, all caps. But the radical left lunatics, as they often do, are trying to harm him and illegally and collusively boycott Tesla. I don't know if it was illegal to not buy a car that you didn't want to, but okay. He's one of the world's great automakers. In support, he's going to go out and buy a Tesla.
Yep, he says that in any event, I'm going to buy a brand new Tesla tomorrow morning as a show of confidence and support for Elon Musk, a truly great American. Now, does this revive the fortunes of Tesla? Let's wait and watch. It'll be interesting to see what Tesla does tonight, by the way, in the American time. But yeah, this is quite stunning, really. Okay, so Tamanna, will you buy a Tesla?
No, I don't want to pay the 6% electric vehicle
That's a good answer.
tax.
That's a good answer.
No, one way or the other.